there guys, and welcome back to the channel. As always, thanks so much for clicking on this video and joining me as we talk some more movie news. So in this video, we're going to be talking about an update regarding the Godzilla x Kong sequel, the next installment in the MonsterVerse, if you will. Kaitlyn was on the red carpet at the Season 2 premiere of The Last of Us, and she let it slip that she is now currently filming the next MonsterVerse movie. So this is really exciting news. So the breakdown for this video, we're going to check out that Instagram clip of Kaitlyn and what she had to say about shooting the next MonsterVerse movie. Then we're going to check out some information regarding the next installment as well, from an article that we have here on Joe Blow. Then we're going to go over, take a look at the box office financials of each of the MonsterVerse movies, and we'll check out the Rotten Tomatoes score for each of the films as well. So plenty of goodies to get into here if you're a MonsterVerse fan, and I can't wait to talk about this, guys. I love this kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's get into that Instagram clip and let's see what Kaitlyn had to say about the movie.
Back in Australia, you can't get enough of it.
I know, I really can't get enough of you guys. I love it over here. I'm shooting another film up in Queensland right now, so I just popped down to Sydney for all of this press, and then I'm going back up there.
That wouldn't be a Godzilla-esque film, would it?
It would be, yes. I feel like I can say that now that it's released, but yes, that's what I'm doing up there.
If not, thank you for the scoop.
So up next, let's jump into this news here and let's talk about the latest information regarding the next MonsterVerse installment. So as Collider points out, this is the fourth MonsterVerse film to shoot in Queensland. Following Kong Skull Island, Godzilla vs Kong, Godzilla x Kong the New Empire, the project is set up at Village Roadshow Studios, where production will inject an estimated 93 million Australian dollars into the local economy and employ over 400 cast and crew. Yeah, I mean, this is something we don't really talk about all that much on the channel, but when you think about it, when a movie is shooting on location in a particular country, it's great for the local economy, gives it a massive boost, it helps all the local civilians to get jobs, to give them a salary, put them on the pay scale when it comes to making movies. So that's one of the really great things about movie making, just employing people and giving people a pay packet, which is a great thing. So Kaitlyn is joined in the cast by Jack O'Connell from Unbroken, who was said to be playing Kaitlyn brother in the film, Delroy Lindo from Get Shorty, Matthew Modine from Stranger Things, Alicia Deben Carey, I'm sorry if I butchered that, from Fear the Walking Dead, and Dan Stevens, who is reprising the role of Titan Veterinarian Trapper, the character he played in Godzilla x Kong the New Empire. Yeah, you remember that scene in Godzilla x Kong the New Empire where Kong, he needs a new tooth, or he needs a tooth repairing, and the veterinarian kind of rappels down into Kong's mouth and then has to kind of like fix his teeth. It was just like the most weirdest kind of crazy thing, seeing a human as a Titan veterinarian. It's just it's so crazy, it really is. This franchise has just gone absolute bonkers. So Godzilla vs Kong and Godzilla x Kong the New Empire were both directed by Adam Wingard, but he has decided to return to his roots with gonzo action horror thriller Onslaught, rather than return for another round of monster brawls. The new sequel is set to be directed by Grant Spator, who previously directed the Hilary Swank sci-fi thriller I Am Mother. Spator will be working from a screenplay by Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse writer David Callahan. That's not a bad thing, that gets me quite excited, because Shang-Chi was a really good movie, one of the best Marvel films we've had in recent years, in my opinion. So the fact that the same guy who helped bring Shang-Chi to the screen is also working on this film, I think that's a reason to be excited. So, moving over here to thenumbers.com. By the way, this is a fantastic platform, guys, if you haven't used it before. You can look up all the great statistics when it comes to financials of your favorite movies. I recommend checking it out. It's free, it doesn't cost anything. I'm not a representative, so I'm just saying it's a great platform to use if you're a movie fan and you want to look up these kind of numbers. But anyway, let's get into the franchise here and start looking at these movies. So, Godzilla came out 2014, $160 million budget. It made $529 million, which is a really great box office revenue for that movie. Then we have Kong Skull Island, which came out in 2017, $185 million budget. That came in at $568 million. Then we have Godzilla King of the Monsters, which I contest to this day is still the best MonsterVerse movie so far. That came out in 2019, $170 million budget. And that made $383 million, the lowest in the franchise, which just blows my mind considering I think it's the best one. Then we have Godzilla vs. Kong, that came out in 2021, kind of during the pandemic era. That was on a production budget of 155 million. That made 470 million. I believe that movie was day and date release. So I believe it released on HBO Max at the same time as it did in theaters, which would have hurt its box office. So we have to put an asterisk by that movie as well. Also, we have Godzilla x Kong, the latest installment. That came out in 2024. Production budget was 135 million, which is the lowest production budget in the franchise so far, and it also made the most amount of money at 572. So when the next movie comes out, we could expect the production budget to be about the same, around about 130 million to 150 million, around about that level, I would expect. But yeah, it made the most amount of money as well, which is great to see. You want to see that box office continue to rise, you know, the average box office to rise over time, and that's exactly what it seems to be doing, which is great. So with that down, let's go over and check out the Rotten Tomatoes for each of the movies as well. So starting off at number 7, at the bottom here, we have Godzilla King of the Monsters. Again, my favorite movie of the entire franchise. It made the least money and it's got the lowest Rotten Tomatoes. It's just not fair. So it has 42% on the critic score. Then we have Godzilla x Kong The New Empire, the latest installment, at number 6. That came in at 54%. Then we have Skull Island Season 1, which is like some sort of animated show. It's not really part of the MonsterVerse, the live action, but that came in at 82%. Then we have Kong Skull Island, the live action MonsterVerse movie. That came in at 76% at number 4. Then we have Godzilla 2014. That came in at 76%. Then we have Godzilla vs. Kong 2021. That came in at 76% at number 2. Then we have Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 1, which came in at 86% and a 77% user score as well. So it's actually the TV show that has the highest Rotten Tomato score of the entire franchise, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But yeah, that's where we kind of are, guys. So it looks like Godzilla x Kong, the sequel, is now filming. That's confirmed by Kaitlyn in that video that we saw. And that's just a rundown of kind of the financials of the franchise there, which I always find interesting to look at, and some of the Rotten Tomatoes scores as well for each of the movies. And hopefully you guys have found that interesting. But to have it confirmed that this movie is now actually shooting, we may get some leaked set images or videos coming out soon, or more details about what we can expect when it comes to the villain of this movie, when it comes to supporting characters, potentially other Titans showing up. So that's going to be very interesting when we do get that information. I make sure I'll update you guys on the channel as soon as we get that. And with that down, thanks so much for being here. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Consider becoming a subscriber of the channel if you haven't done so far. It goes a long way to supporting the content, so I really appreciate that. And as always, I will see you in the next video.